What's going on? So today we're going to be doing a comparison between the Air Jordan 5 Black Metallics, the 2025 Retro. Now, if you cannot tell, the replica is on the left. The replica is on the left. So we can get into the boxes really quickly just to show you guys something. Not a huge difference, but like I said, I think this batch that I currently have for the replicas on the left is a bit outdated, and it might not be the most recent one. You guys will see. I've seen better pairs on the internet. You guys will see what I'm talking about in a little bit, but let's get into the boxes really quickly and we'll get back to this. Get into the boxes really briefly. Again, I do not think I have the best batch of 5s out. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't. I feel like I've seen better pairs on the internet. Y'all let me know. So the retail box is slightly bigger than the replica box. And they did something new that they've never done before. Jordan Brand included this little fucking piece of cardboard, I guess, so your 5s don't bump into each other. The replica pair did not do that. So other than the box being smaller and not including that, everything else is pretty much the same in that aspect. So now let's get right into it. All right, so the first thing that I noticed between these two sneakers, it's pretty obvious. We'll come back to this one. So to me, at least, I believe that Jordan Brand tried with this new retro to sort of mimic the 1990 Jordan 5, the shape, all that stuff. They've been trying to do that these past couple years, but to me, this replica still has the same old shape as the like 2020 pairs. I don't think any 5, except for this one, has this exact shape. I think it is the first 5. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is the first 5 in a long time to really be fixed and to really have an accurate depiction of the OG. I think this and the Great 5s that are going to come out later this year have done that. So as you can see, these don't look bad, but they don't look like this. You can already see that just off of the first picture. You can already fucking look at this shit. The tongue is higher up on the replica, surprisingly. The tongue is also still on this replica. I'm not gonna unlace them, I'm not gonna lie, you can just fucking see it. Maybe if you were to loosen the laces, you could make the retail look a bit more like this, but still, this tongue still has that OG kind of puffy material to it. It's also wider. You can see how wide this tongue is compared to the retail pair, which the tongue is very fucking tight. You can see it's almost fucking closing in on itself. There's no gap. Like, it's sort of fucking like this, bro. This tongue is like this. You can kind of replicate it a little bit with the replica, but the tongue is very, very tight. It's very sturdy. The rest of the shoe is also very sturdy. But as you guys can see, this is definitely the older 5 shape. There's nothing wrong with it. If Jordan Brand hadn't tried to make a new reimagined 5, they would probably end up looking like the left retail pair right here. The back looks fine enough, but like I said, the more you start to look at it, the more differences you can kind of spot. I think even the netting, put these on the right side, even the netting looks different on the retail pair. The toe box is probably the biggest one. This is the most sleek, narrow toe box. You can see how it goes down that we've had on the 5s. This is the retail pair, for those of you who were unsure, like myself. But as you can see, look at that toe box compared to this one. A bit more boxy, a bit fatter, you know, not as sleek. Even the netting, at least in my eyes, it looks like it's taking up a lot of space compared to the retail pair, where it looks a bit smaller. You guys can kind of see that. The netting on this looks a bit bigger. It's smaller on the retail pair. The white little cuts, 3M cuts, in pictures they do look pretty bad on the rep, but in person they look pretty much identical. like I said, the main one being the tongue is like fucking, it's like this, bro. The tongue is fucking all in there. Now, if I were to fucking lace them up a bit tighter, maybe it's a bit harder. But also, you can sort of just tell. Oh yeah, they put a protective paper. Let's actually get rid of that really quickly just so you can see the tongue in more detail. I just noticed that. They put a protective little paper around the tongue. Never fucking do that. So now you can see a bit more of an accurate representation of the tongue. I would just say, the only thing that I will say again is that it definitely seems a bit more narrow on the retail version compared to the replica. Look at how big this tongue is. You can see it from a fucking mile away. You're seeing that fucking tongue. Usually the rep tongues are pretty bad. That looks pretty accurate to retail from what I've been used to, at least. Again, for the fucking 100th time at this point. Since the shape is different, it does look different. That's the main one, and this is not the top batch. There are better batches out there, so be careful of that. The blue is fucking identical, maybe a bit more blue on the replica pair, at least my replica pair. You can see this one's blue, but it's still a bit clear on the white side. This is just fucking blue. You can kind of see that. Yeah, you guys can definitely see that. It's definitely a different blue, definitely more blue on the rep. I'm looking at these little shark teeth over here. They look pretty good. I don't really see any complaint. Maybe the colors are slightly different. This is the retail. This is the rep. This might be a bit more metallic-y, and it does kind of have a lot more speckles. So this is the replica. A lot smaller speckles, I should say. Look at that. So this is the replica. This is the retail. Still speckles, but it has a lot more smaller speckles. Like right here in this area, you can see this is the retail. This is the replica. You see all those speckles. But overall, I think they did a pretty good job. I think there's better batches out there. Like I said, hopefully maybe I can get my hands on a pair soon and try to make another comparison video. But in terms of cushioning and stuff, they did a pretty great job. These feel like a real pair of fives, but like I said, once you just see the shape, you can kind of already tell right away. And that tongue is the biggest indicator, at least for me. Really briefly, I'll touch into this because it's, again, these things can be easily replaceable. But as you can see, this one's a bit more foggy. This one's a bit more clear. You can sort of see the different kind of texture towards it. This one's really close though. I mean, look at that, bro. I don't fucking know, I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were different, but now they look fucking basically the same to me. But yeah, so overall, I think they did a pretty solid job. Maybe if you lace these up a little tighter and fucking, let me try to make it accurate. There we go. Now we might be in for a little bit, right? But overall, I think they did a pretty good job. Y'all let me know if there's better batches, if you have any pictures of better batches, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.